Alright guys, so welcome to the second module. This is a module on the Facebook intent guide. So one of the biggest reasons most people fail on Facebook is because they really don't understand the way Facebook works. Because Facebook doesn't work like any other traffic source, and I'm going to show you guys why here. In this module, my goal is to help you understand Facebook and the behavior of users on Facebook more accurately, so you can craft your advertising messages to really get results. Okay, so let's get right into it. So this is the groundbreaking law of advertising on Facebook. Okay, most marketers selling courses and consulting services, right? They emphasize way too much on the Facebook pixel, or how to create an ad, or how to do that kind of stuff, without actually talking to you guys about the people on Facebook. They don't really talk to you about the core fundamental law of making advertising work on Facebook. Okay, so everyone's talking to you guys about like the technical stuff, and here's how you find interest to target, but no one's talking to you guys about the core law, which is why most advertising fails on Facebook, and also because why most gurus have a terrible reputation. They could be giving you great content on the technical aspects, but the information doesn't work without the core law, right? And I'm going to give you guys the core law. Let me explain. So you see, the number one reason why most people fail with Facebook ads is because they treat Facebook like a sales platform. It's not. It's really not. And I learned this the hard way. I've been running ads for like 6 years now, consistently. So I had to do a lot of things, and I've made multiple six figures with Facebook. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how we did it, because this I had to learn the hard way. You know, lucky for you, you guys get to learn from my experience. Okay, and you don't necessarily have to go through all of the failures that I went through to actually learn this core fundamental law. But anyway, back to the point. So people don't jump on Facebook and expect to buy anything. Okay, they don't jump on Facebook one day and like expect to buy anything. Okay, but when you have advertisers setting up ads with ideas like, oh, let me make the best sales message ever, let me like have the best sales pitch, let me have the best sales thing, whatever, they're already lost, because people aren't expecting to buy things on Facebook. Okay, so if your advertising says my product is the best, my product is the best, my product's epic, no one's going to pay any attention, because no one wants to buy anything. you know Google, for example, is a sales platform. So if someone searches best shoe store in New York, right, he wants to buy a shoe. This is a guy that lives in New York that wants to buy a shoe. So if you have a shoe company, right, if you have a shoe store and you're selling shoes in New York, that's a person that wants to buy something, right? So now if you go in and be like, okay, we're the best shoe store in New York, here's what we give you, the person looking at the ad is like, okay, these guys are a good choice, let me go there. But on Facebook, no one cares about the shoe. That's the sad reality. No one cares about the shoe. And everyone's out there trying to say, hey, look at me, I have the best product, That's why they get no attention, because no one's trying to buy a shoe. No one's scrolling through the feed expecting to buy a shoe. This is because Facebook is an entertainment platform, not a sales platform. Okay? People scroll through Facebook not because they're looking for products to buy. It's not Amazon. People go to Amazon trying to look for things to buy. People on Facebook, they're not looking for things to buy. They're just bored. They're just bored. They're probably looking for some entertainment. They're busy sharing memes. They're connecting with their friends and family. They're trying to see what's happening in everybody else's world. They're probably trying to see what's happening on like a celebrity's world. They just want to be entertained. They just want to know facts. They just want to just see what's going on in the world. Only about 2% of the people are probably there to buy something. It's very rare that someone switches on Facebook and is like, okay, let me look for cool products to buy. But in any case, there's always a percentage of people that do the exceptional stuff, right? But there's a Facebook Marketplace, which a lot of people use, which shouldn't be confused with actual Facebook. Marketplace is a segment of Facebook which is primarily meant for buying and selling stuff. So, yeah. So ACE If people are not expecting to buy anything on Facebook, how do we sell them? Great question. This is where you need to understand the concept of user intent. User intent is nothing but understanding the intent and the motive of the prospects or traffic generated from various different traffic sources. Okay, so to put it in the more simpler terms, user intent is really just about understanding what the intention of the user of the traffic platform is. So if people are on Facebook, you just got to understand what people are there to do. Like what's the intention? Why are they on Facebook? That's just understanding user intent. Now, user buying intent is how likely is a prospect on a specific traffic source looking to buy something, right? And this usually can be categorized into 3 different parts: high, medium, and low. If a traffic source has a high buying intent, it usually means that the audience on that traffic source is most likely to buy something because it's looking to buy stuff. User buying intent medium, it just means that they're just not very interested in buying stuff, but it's still higher than low. And we'll get to the different types of traffic sources in a second here. But like when it comes to Facebook, you're dealing with a low buying intent. So let me give you an example here, right? So if someone, again, going back to our example of the best shoe store in New York. So if someone goes to Google, okay, if you're optimizing for the keyword best shoe store in New York, the user buying intent is high because the person clicking through the ad is most likely to buy a shoe. So if you're running a best shoe store in New York ad for the keyword best shoe store in New York, so when someone searches best shoe store in New York, he sees your ad, the buying intent is high because he's looking to buy a shoe and he's in New York. Okay, so if you're targeting a keyword like, let's say, funny videos, the buying intent is low because the person just wants to watch a funny video. He doesn't really want to buy anything. So he's just going to go to Google and he typed in funny videos, and now you're trying to sell him a shoe. He doesn't want to buy a shoe. So that's the buying intent is low, right? But if you target best shoes to buy and then proceed to advertise your store, the buying intent is medium because the person does want to buy a shoe, but he just doesn't, like, it's a tougher sale because he can't come to New York, unless you have e-commerce enabled. If you have e-commerce enabled and you are delivering the shoe to that person, then it's a high intent keyword. Okay, now the key to marketing effectively is to understand the buying intent and understand the buying intent of the users so you can craft your messages well. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a second here. Another example of a medium buying intent is when people are actually searching for information. What colored shoe should I wear on a date? So this is a person that wants to buy a shoe, just doesn't know what to buy. Okay, so that's a medium keyword. If you're going to go into someone and be like, oh, this is the best shoe in the marketplace, it's the best shoe in the marketplace, and he's just looking for a shoe to wear on a date, he may buy your shoe, but the conversion rates are going to be smaller, are going to be lower. When you understand the user intent of a traffic source, you will be able to build a system that matches the expectations of the audience and sell them products without resistance. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. To sum it up, if you're advertising a shoe on Google in New York, low buying intent, funny videos. So that's a low buying intent keyword. Best shoes to wear on a date, medium buying intent. Best shoe store in New York, high buying intent. Okay? And here's a few other traffic sources, the buying intent of a few other traffic sources. TV, it's low because people are not looking to buy stuff on TV, like while watching TV. They just want to be entertained, right? So it's really low. That's one of the reasons why people don't even want to watch ads anymore. Like they don't even watch ads, like they're just like skipping through. Amazon, buying intent is high because people go to Amazon to buy stuff, right? So if you're running one of those Amazon stores, you really don't have to put a lot of work into selling stuff because people are already there to buy. You just got to convince them that your product's the best thing to buy. YouTube, low. People just want entertainment. Again, depends on the keywords. If someone's searching best shoes to buy, that's a person with high intent. Okay? But if someone's searching funny videos, That's a low intent. So when it comes to YouTube and Google, the keywords play a lot into it. Okay, specific keywords. So like again, the specific keywords is like best shoe store in New York. Okay, so that's a specific keyword. High buying intent. Broad keywords. Funny videos. Very low intent. Banners. Low. People who want to read articles, guys, not click on banners and buy stuff. Okay, like you go to a website, you don't want to click on a banner and buy anything. So now you got to get the person's attention first. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to advertise depending on the traffic source here in a second. Facebook, low. People just want to be entertained. Okay, people don't want to buy anything. Alright, guys, so now we know that the user intent of Facebook is entertainment. Okay, the user buying intent is low since people aren't there to buy. So now we can proceed to run ads that actually entertain people, generate positive interest, and finally sell them. That's the secret formula. Okay, get attention, entertain them, generate positive interest, and sell or have a call to action. That's the 3-step formula to sell anything through Facebook ads. If you don't entertain people, they won't pay attention to you. Okay, putting this formula into action to sell shoes. Here's the step-by-step system. Step 1, get attention. The first step to get attention, first step is to get attention, and the easiest way to do this, honestly, is by writing interesting tips and tricks articles. Okay, so if you write an article like, let's say, 8 tips to crush it on your first date, someone's scrolling through Facebook, right? They're like, oh, okay, this dude, he has a kid now, awesome. He comments like, congrats, and then he's like wishing people Merry Christmas. Then he's like, 8 tips to crush it on the first date. I think I'll read this article. He clicks on it. Okay, so that's step number 1. Getting people to click on the ad. Okay, because people want to read more articles and watch more videos on interesting and entertaining topics. Another thing is using funny videos. Okay, and now we'll get deeper into how to do it. Now, like whether you should write the article on Facebook or whether you should just like send it to an external article, we'll get deeper into it. Okay. Now, there's multiple angles that you can use for these articles. You could write motivational stuff. You could write humorous and funny stuff. You could write like solutions to problems. You could write controversial stuff. There's so many options, really. Okay. Or another easier way to get attention is to really sell products that people love to buy. Okay, and this is one of the greatest benefits with selling dropshipping products, because a lot of the products are really cool and you can sell them for less than $50, which categorizes itself as an impulse purchase, and make profit at the same time, right? Like the Viking mug that we sold, and I'm probably going to show you guys the mug in the next few videos. So like the Viking mug we sold, or like we at one point we made 50 or 70,000. It was $70,000, I think, selling socks. But it was a unique type of socks. So basically, you could send an image of your pet, and we would put it on the socks, and we would print out the socks and ship it to you. We made $70,000 selling socks like that, right? Because that was such a great product. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's unique. That's awesome. I'm interested." So we didn't even have to do like a lot of article stuff or put a lot of work in to like create that attention. The product was just cool. So another way you can do that is obviously by giving free stuff. Okay, so it's like, hey, you have X problem. Here's some free stuff to help you. Oh, you're going on a date. Fill out your name and email here, and we'll give you 8 tips or anything that is interesting. Okay, it gets attention. Here's a few more strategies to implement when using Facebook ads, and we'll get deeper into this over the next few modules. So great music on your video ads. So great music is something that always gets attention, right? So you're watching videos on Facebook. You keep scrolling through. Something with the great music, it just makes you stop, and pay attention. Animations, people just like animations. They just like watching animated videos. Especially if it has something to do with interesting topics. Like how to, for example, like if you're in the niche of selling, let's say, brake calipers, right? And you show this animation of a dude that just installed brake calipers and now is like the most famous guy in college or something because he has that extra attention to detail. All of a sudden, you're getting it. Like people are watching the animated video, and they're like, oh, dude, like if I get the caliper, I'm probably gonna have all the attention too, you know, and it's just very subliminal marketing when it comes to animations and stuff. So with video ads, I recommend using animations, great music, flashy stuff. Flashy stuff obviously works because everyone's like so bored on Facebook that anything that pops gets attention. But be careful with this because aggressive use of this can get your account shut down. So you could do a few things, right? For example, you could increase the contrast of your ads, like of the images, of the videos, and that's going to get you some attention. But if you overdo it, you will get banned. Okay, so careful of that. Viral products are products that are interesting and could go viral, like the socks that we sold, right? This is something that people would love to buy. It's a very it's something that they're very fanatic about, you know. So yeah, products that have a passionate audience. So like if like the whole pets niche is like a very passionate niche, right? The whole fishing and the outdoors niche is a passionate niche. So like if you're trying to sell products in those niches that actually solve a problem, the people are very passionate about it. Even political is like a really passionate niche. So for example, you can like if you target people that, let's say, love Donald Trump and sell a mug that says Trump or Trump is cool or whatever, people are going to buy it. Okay, people are going to buy it because they're like, oh, I think Trump is cool, he thinks Trump is cool, let's buy it. The same thing goes the other way. So if you run an ad that says Hillary Clinton is cool and target like the Hillary Clinton audience, people are just going to be like, okay, well, I think Hillary's cool, he thinks Hillary's cool, let me buy this mug. So yeah, anything with a passionate audience is definitely a great target market to go after, which we'll get to in a bit here. Attention getting images, again, going back to increasing the contrast, you could use black and white images, you could use images with a lot of color in it, and there's this whole part where we're going to be talking about how to not get your ad account banned. Okay, so in that module, I'm actually going to walk you through some of the stuff that you can do in your images to get attention but not get banned. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that. Effective storytelling. Facts tell, stories tell, For example, one of the greatest ads that we've ran for the sock stuff is actually a testimonial. So we took a testimonial from a client that said, my cat passed away like 5 years ago, and it's a real tragedy, but luckily I could send my picture to these guys and they gave me socks, and every time I look at the socks, it just reminds me of how cool my cat is, and I'm so happy. That story did extremely well because it kind of went viral, and everyone were like, okay, dude, like this is such a great story. Now I gotta buy like socks too. So everyone that lost their pet would go and buy the socks, and yeah, I mean, we were really glad that we could actually like help them get happy about the socks, and to get happy about um, finding a way to like feel the presence of the cat again, which that's just awesome for us, and the ads converted really well too. So another thing is emotionally reactive creatives. Anything that makes people happy or sad or fulfilled or uncomfortable, anything that gets them to react emotionally will get attention, no doubt. Okay, so what reactions are you looking for? We'll talk about that in the next few modules. Okay, I'll go into detail when it comes to there's a whole module, as I said, on how to not get your ad account banned. In that module, I'll go through it in great detail. Solve a problem. So if there's a big problem in the marketplace and your ad solves a problem, that's going to get a lot of attention. Okay. Step 2, generate positive interest. So there's two parts to this. Okay. Number 1, you need to convince them why they need to buy a shoe or product and why they need to buy it now. Okay. And second, you tell them the features and benefits. So here's a person who wants to be entertained, right? So you entertain him. Now, if you're only going to be entertaining him and not showing him a product, that's not going to be very profitable for you, right? So you entertain him to get his interest, right? And then you generate positive interest towards your product. So in this case, you need to convince them why they need to buy your shoe or product, okay? So an example for that would be if you're writing an article that says 8 tips to crush it with your first date, the fifth tip in the article could be wear a pair of great shoes, and instantly transition into talking about the features and benefits of your shoes by sending them to a sales page. If you guys really want to see how brilliant the system is, you need to start watching some Alpha M videos on YouTube. Okay, so search AlphaM, you'll find the guy. So the guy, what he does essentially, right? And he makes millions with this strategy, by the way. I think he does this video that says, for example, 5 tips to attract women or something. Okay, tip number one is like get ripped. Tip number two is something else. Tip number three, he basically says something like wear a great watch, and like women really pay attention to watches. And the people watching it are like, you know what, he's right, I gotta get a good watch now. Then all of a sudden the guy comes in and he's like, buy a Vincero watch. That's what I use. And then all of a sudden people are like, okay, dude, you know what? He's right. I need a watch. Okay, so he took people from saying I need to attract women to saying I need a great watch to saying I think I need this Vincero watch. Okay, by using that strategy. And there's so many other ways to do it, but this is one example. A friend of mine called Ryan McKenzie, actually, he kills it with the strategy. Like he sells a subscription service for like kids. He doesn't target kids, but he targets their parents. It's like a summer boot camp or something like that, and that's what he does. It's like how to make your summer really cool or something like that. And the third step in it is to like sign up for X summer camp or something like that to really have a lot of fun. Really killer strategy, guys. And it really works really on Facebook. And you can do this with the use of a pre-sale lander, a blog article, and there's a few other steps. Okay. So this is an easy way to build positive interest. And of course, in the future videos, we're going to be talking in depth about how to use these strategies for different niches. So yeah. And that brings us to step 3, call to action. Okay. So getting attention and demonstrating the value of your product is not enough. Okay. You also need to be able to effectively sell the product. Here's a few strategies to do that. Best sales pages with strong buy now buttons, retargeting ads. So let me give you a quick example here. So let's say you wrote the article on how to get like how to crush it on a date, right? Next, you gotta the third tip on the date on the article is get a good watch and get a Vincero watch. So now everyone's like, okay, you know what? This is a good idea. Like I need to get a watch. I need to get a Vincero watch. Now you need to give them a strong call to action to buy now. Not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow. Buy it now. Okay, for that you need a great offer. You need a great sales page, or you just need a good buy now button, right? Because people like to be told what to do. They don't really want to make their own decisions. Don't let them think a lot. Tell them to do what you want them to do. Okay, so in this case, that is as simple as saying, click on the link now and buy it at a 25% discount. Offer lasts only for today. And then all of a sudden you got like people clicking on the link and buying stuff. Now, of course, don't fake scarcity, but give them a great offer. 25%. The offer only lasts for like this weekend. Buy it now. Or if you don't want to use anything like that, just say, click here to like buy it now at a 25% discount. So you're telling them what to do. So you're like, hey, you need a watch. And the guy's like, yeah, I do. Then you're like, you need a Vincero watch or a Rolex or whatever you're selling. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. And you're like, buy it here, and that's as simple as that is, So guys, that's the 3-step formula. Step 1, get attention, get them to stop, get them entertained, get them to pay attention. Number 2, generate positive interest. Get them to that point where they're like, okay, I need a watch. And then also get them to a point where they're like, oh, I need Vincero watch. And step 3 is to give them a call to action and close the deal. And that's how you make money on Facebook. And that's how the user intent guide works. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed this module. It's a lot of powerful information. I recommend you watch it a few times so you can actually digest the information and learn and find a way to implement that. The next few modules, I'm going to be going more in detail about some of the concepts that we shared here, like creating ads and retargeting and how the Facebook pixel works. So if you don't understand something, don't worry, because we're going to be covering it. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this module, guys. Crush it. All right, have a nice day.